Hey, it's Josephine from the Pointe shop. I'm in Reno, Nevada today at the Sports and Performance Physical Therapy, and I'm hanging out with Katarina, who has gone to multiple summer intensives. You were just at Valley West, right, this summer? So we are going to be looking at pointe shoes, and she's been in a pretty tapered pointe shoe for the past 3 years, which is correct because she has tapered toes, but in the past, year or so, your bunion has been really bothering you? Yeah, so when you take off her shoes, you can totally see her bunions are really inflamed, her big toe is totally slanted in, and sometimes bunions, even if it's there, it doesn't bother them as much, but for Katarina, it really is starting to bother her. So I'm going to change the shape a little bit, and because of her toes are so tapered, I can't go with a really wide shoe because she'll start sinking. So I'm going to keep her in a shoe that's still tapered, but I'm going to change the shape of her bunion a little bit so that she gets a little bit more room. And I'm also going to change her toe pads so that it covers the sides of the bunion a little bit better. So we're going to take a look at her pointe shoes right now. So it's a pretty shoe. And on the outside, you can't really tell that she is struggling with her bunion. Come down for me and then parallel. So the only indication that we have with her bunion sticking out is there's a slight line right here. And sometimes it's really obvious where the shoe starts to crease right under the bunion, and then you start to see the bunion sticking out. In Katarina's case, you can't tell as much. So from the outside, it looks okay. It's a really pretty shoe. She has pretty feet, so not a lot of things are going on there. But go ahead and take off your shoe. She really hasn't danced at all today, but she already looks like she's been dancing for like a couple hours already because it's really inflamed. But she's wearing the regular toe pad right now, which is pretty standard. She has the ouch pouch. It's medium thinness. This is perfectly fine for most people. And it goes just beyond the bunion. So when she puts on her pointe shoes or her toe pads, it comes right up until that joint. So what I want to do, and normally I don't do something this thick, but I want to make sure that she is protected on the side. Another thing is that if you have a bunion and your big toe is slanted in, a spacer really helps. But Katarina has tried the spacers on before, and she doesn't like them. It's too uncomfortable. So I'm going to do my best to fit her without the spacer. If you don't like it, I find that if I give them the spacer, they're not going to wear it anyway. So I'm going to fit them without it. And if you try the gel spacers, and if that is uncomfortable for you, you can also try using different materials, like just take a makeup sponge and cut it in the middle, because that's a little bit comfier, that's a little bit softer, so that might not bother you as much as the gel. But I'm going to fit Katarina without spacers today, and I'm going to have you put on these toe pads. So these are a little bit longer, so even if the toe pad shifts a little bit, it's still covering the side. So I just want to make sure that everything is covered. They're both pretty tapered shoes. So if you look at her pointe shoes, they both come into a pretty small tip at the very end. She balances pretty well in a small platform anyway, so I don't have to teach her to do that. But if you look at the pointe shoes from the side, see how it's much higher in the profile here, and it's much rounder in the side. So the width of the shoe is actually the same, but you're just giving a lot more space right here and a lot more space here. So I'm giving her just all around more space on the side without having to go to a wide shoe, because if we do that, she'll start sinking, and then that's a bruised toenail. So we're just introducing other problems. So we want to make sure that we're just fixing one problem without introducing another one. Do you feel any pain or pressure there? No. Perfect. Okay, step up onto pointe. Very good. So, I mean, she just has pretty feet, so whatever I put on her feet, even if it's the completely wrong shoe, it's still gonna look pretty good on her. But I promise you, this is a lot wider right here, so it's taking a lot of pressure off of that bunion. So she's not on her way to surgery. That's the last thing we wanna do, right? Okay, cross it into fit position for me. Okay, very good. Beret. So we're making sure that she's not sinking. Are you sinking? No. Perfect. So from the side, back out to first position. So this is a lot wider here. It's a lot thicker, so she's giving a lot more space here, and then back into parallel, and it's slightly rounder right here, but the width is actually the same, it's just different shapes. So I'm just making sure that nothing is sliding down, everything has enough room, and I'm giving her a more comfortable toe pad so that she can dance better in it. Okay, if you have any pain or pressure on your pointe shoes, that is constant, it's not normal. If you get a blister here and there, that's totally fine, but if something is getting really inflamed and you've noticed that your foot is changing quite a bit, that's probably not the best for you. So if you have any problems, leave that on the comments and I'll try to address that in the next video. And if you guys are in Reno, Nevada, we're probably going to be doing these workshops more often where we do the pointe shoe fitting. They're going to do the pointe shoe assessment to make sure that you're ready, and they're also going to bring in master class teachers to do pointe shoe classes. I love how she just stays up there even because I forgot to tell her to come down for me, but it's gorgeous. Nothing's hurting?
No, yeah.
Perfect. They're comfortable. So I'm not sure if that's going to always be the case, but if anything is like chronically hurting you, make sure you check that out. And I know that a lot of dancers, they feel like it's normal pain, so they just ignore a lot of the things because we're taught to kind of push through a lot of the different pains. But you have to understand the difference between pain that's actually going to be chronic and bad for you, as opposed to pain that's just for a little bit, like a little blister is okay. So leave that on the comments, and I will see you guys next time.